After we compare and discuss the coefficient of static friction obtained, we found that the coefficient of static friction for the rubber surface is 350.4, while for the non-rubber surface is 1635. These values indicate that the non-rubber surface has a significantly higher coefficient of static friction compared to the rubber surface. This implies that more force is required to overcome static friction and initiate motion on the non-rubber surface. The difference in coefficients suggests that the nature of the surfaces significantly affects their resistance to motion, with the non-rubber surface exhibiting a stronger tendency to resist initial movement. Question 1. How can anti-lock brakes stop a car in a shorter distance than regular brakes? Anti-lock brakes help stop a car in a shorter distance than regular brakes by preventing wheel lock-up during hard braking. When wheels lock up, static friction between the tires and the road is lost, reducing the braking force. Anti-lock brakes regulate brake pressure, allowing the wheels to maintain some level of rotation, maximizing frictional force and improving stopping distance. Question 2. From our experiment, which material has the highest coefficient of static friction, and does this agree with our hypothesis? And what do we think determines the coefficient of static friction? We think rubber has a higher coefficient of static friction than wood. This aligns with the hypothesis as rubber provides better grip. The coefficient of static friction is influenced by surface roughness, materials involved, and the forces pressing them together. Smoother surfaces and materials with higher adhesion tend to have higher coefficients of static friction. And the last question, once the mass begins to slide, does it move smoothly or does it undergo stop and go motion? Explain the motion. The mass may experience stop and go motion once it starts to slide. This is commonly known as dynamic friction or kinetic friction. The uneven surfaces or material interact with one another as the object slides, resulting in sporadic stops and starts. Because kinetic friction acts as a periodic counteracting force, the motion is not entirely smooth.